Hi, welcome back. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at the top 5 reasons not to file a lawsuit. Today, we've made it all the way to number 2. We're going to be talking about the number 2 reason not to file a lawsuit, which is because you need money. Hi, my name is Peter Lamont. I'm a business attorney and the host of UTL Radio, and we've been taking a look at the top 5 reasons not to file a lawsuit. And today we're looking at reason number 2, because you need money. Now, I hear this all the time, and I'm sure you do too, especially, among friends or at the dinner table or when you're out with a group of people. Oh, file a lawsuit, you're going to make money. And, this whole idea of filing a lawsuit to make money, that's unfortunately what civil litigation is about, because with the exception of those times where you're trying to stop somebody from doing something and getting an injunction, generally speaking, 98% of all civil litigation matters concern one thing, and that's money. They're all about money. Now, there are times when you legitimately have a case and you need to file a lawsuit so that you can recover money to make yourself whole. You purchase a vehicle and the vehicle is not what was advertised and you just spent 30 grand on this car. You need to be made whole, so you'd file a lawsuit. You were working for a company and they discriminated against you on the basis of your race. That is a violation of the law and unfair. There, you file a lawsuit so that you can have justice. That's a different story. But when people hear about the fact that you can recover money from civil litigation matters, they oftentimes think that when they need money, they're going to be able to go file a lawsuit. And you might think to yourself, well, how many times does this really happen? I couldn't begin to tell you how many hundreds and hundreds of times over the course of the last even 2 years, I've encountered people who have either manufactured injuries or disputes because they needed money, or people who just wanted to sue, not even really thinking about whether or not they had a valid cause of action, but because they needed money. When you need money, I think that people tend to do desperate things, and I completely understand that. But what you don't want to do is go and file a lawsuit, because assume for a minute that you convince an attorney that you have a good enough case to file. If you're doing it simply because you need money, there's a couple things you need to know. First of all, you are not going to get a dime most times, right? There are cases that settle early, but most of the time, you're not going to get $1 for 6 months to 2 years. So if you need money right now, a lawsuit's not the way to do it. Personal injury cases, you are going to have to file your complaint. You're going to be deposed. You're going to provide discovery responses. You're talking about a year, probably, before somebody even talks about settlement. Sure, there are cases where an insurance company will settle with you right up front for a couple grand just to make you go away. But what we're seeing now is that because of companies like Allstate, for example, in the car insurance world, they have a policy where they generally do not settle until the case has progressed long enough and they know that it's in their best interest. They're not the kind of company that will pay you up front to go away. And a lot of other insurance companies are now taking the Allstate example and, sort of aggressively defending the case. And it's not confined to personal injury or auto accidents. It could be a contract dispute, an employment dispute. If you think that you can manufacture an employment dispute solely for the purpose of making money, you are going to be shocked to find out that it's going to take you a year and a half before that employer decides to settle with you to make you go away. So if you think that filing a lawsuit is quick and easy and you're going to be able to make money because you need it, it is not the way to go. Because even if you do recover money, it is going to be a year or more away. It's going to involve a great deal of time and effort and commitment. And that all assumes that you have an actual and recoverable cause of action. Don't forget, and I know that this is going to jump into something that I've talked about in another video, but it's really, really important to remember. When you file a lawsuit, in order to be successful, you need to be able to prove two things: damages and liability. Okay? Generally, it's liability first, then damages, but you need to prove both of them. You need to be able to prove liability-wise that somebody, the person you're suing, was at fault. And then you need to be able to establish damages. Some, tangible form of damages that you're entitled to. And if you don't have both of them, your lawsuit fails. So quite possibly, you think you need money, you think you're going to file a lawsuit for a quick hit, it doesn't happen, and then you get a year into your case, and you never had a really strong case to begin with. So even if you can establish, liability to an extent, you might not be able to establish damages, and then you're left with nothing. And the worst part of it all is that even if you are hiring an attorney on a contingency basis, meaning they don't recover any fees until you recover, right? We've all seen those ads all the time. Pay nothing, you don't pay until we recover. They're talking about attorney's fees. They're not talking about expenses related to the case. So, if you lose your case and you've had a plaintiff's attorney who is taking your case on a contingency basis, you don't win anything. You're not obligated to give that lawyer any fees. That's their risk. They took that case on a contingency basis. But what about the $1,000 they spent on an expert, the $1,000 they spent at a deposition for the transcriptionist or the court reporter? What about the $250 they spent filing the complaint? Who pays that? Well, look at your retainer when you sign up with a contingency lawyer and look for the language that says you are responsible for paying the costs associated with the case, regardless of the outcome. So, getting back to our number 2 reason not to file a lawsuit, if you need money and you need it soon, do not file a lawsuit simply in the hopes of recovering money. It's not that easy, and it's going to take you a great deal of time and effort, and you need to have a valid case in order to recover. If you have questions about anything that I've said today, I know I jumped around a bit and talked about a bunch of different topics related to the number 2 reason not to file a lawsuit, please feel free to give me a call at 973-949-3770, or you can always send me an email at plamont@peterlamontesq.com. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you are notified when new videos come out. If you get a chance, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I really greatly appreciate all the comments and feedback that I received from everybody. I want to thank you for that. So join me next time when we have finally reached the number 1 reason not to file a lawsuit. And, I think you'll be surprised at what it might be. But it's one of these things I hear all the time, and I say to myself, oh no, not another one that wants to file a lawsuit, because, well, you'll have to wait till next time. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.